Hey everybody, welcome back to 90 and Out. I'm your host, Timothy Holt, and today we're continuing in Chapter 7 of the epic action adventure covering the life of Jesus Christ, known as the Gospel according to Mark. Last episode we read Chapter 6 and caught up to John the Baptist, and I must say he definitely lost his head over the situation. Must have been one fantastic dance. So check out that video, but don't take my word for it. Pick it up. Read it for yourself. Today, I'll be continuing with the New King James Version with chapter 7. Let's get right to it. Then the Pharisees and some of the scribes came together to him, having come from Jerusalem. Now when they saw some of his disciples eat bread with defiled, that is, with unwashed hands, they found fault. For the Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they wash their hands in a special way, holding the traditions of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash, and there are many other things which they have received and hold, like the washing of cups, pitchers, copper vessels, and couches. Then the Pharisees and scribes asked him, "Why do your disciples not walk according to the tradition of the elders, but eat bread with unwashed hands?" He answered and said to them, "Well, did Isaiah prophesy of you hypocrites? As it is written, these people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me, and in vain they worship me, teaching as doctrines the commandments of men. For laying aside the commandment of God, you hold the tradition of men, the washing of pitchers and cups, and many other such things you do." He said to them, "All too well you reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your tradition. For Moses said, 'Honor your father and your mother,' and he who curses father or mother, let him be put to death. But you say, if a man says to his father or mother, 'Whatever profit you might have received from me is Corban,' that is a gift to God, then you no longer let him do anything for his father or his mother, making the word of God of no effect through your tradition, which you have handed down, and many such things you do." When he had called all the multitude to himself, he said to them, "Hear me, everyone, and understand. There is nothing that enters a man from without which can defile him, but the things which come out of him, those are the things that defile a man. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear." When he had entered a house away from the crowd, the disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said to them, "Are you thus without understanding also? Do you not perceive that whatever enters a man from outside cannot defile him? Because it does not enter his heart, but his stomach, and is eliminated, thus purifying all foods." And he said, "What comes out of a man, that defiles a man. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts, adulteries, fornications, murders, thefts, covetousness, wickedness, deceit, lewdness, an evil eye, blasphemy, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and defile a man." From there he arose and went to the region of Tyre and Sidon, and he entered a house and wanted no one to know it, but he could not be hidden. For a woman whose young daughter had an unclean spirit heard about him, and she came and fell at his feet. The woman was a Greek, a Syrophoenician by birth, and she kept asking him to cast the demon out of her daughter. But Jesus said to her, Let the children be filled first, for it is not good to take the child's bread and throw it to the little dogs. And she answered and said to him, Yes, Lord, yet even the little dogs under the table eat from the children's crumbs. Then he said to her, For this saying, go your way, the demon has gone out of your daughter. And when she had come to her house, she found the demon gone out, and the daughter lying in the bed. Again, departing from the region of Tyre and Sidon, he came through the midst of the region of Decapolis to the Sea of Galilee. Then they brought to him one who was deaf and had an impediment in his speech, and they begged him to put his hand on him. And he took him aside from the multitude and put his fingers in his ears, and he spat and touched his tongue. Then, looking up to heaven, he sighed and said to him, Ephphatha, that is, be open. Immediately the eyes were opened, and the impediment of his tongue was loosed, and he spoke plainly. Then he commanded them that they should tell no one, but the more he commanded them, the more widely they proclaimed it. And they were astonished beyond measure, saying, He has done all these things. He makes both the deaf to hear and the mute to speak. That concludes chapter 7. So thank you for tuning in. Today is a pretty cool day. I'm recording this on Good Friday. The only reason we call this good isn't because of what actually happened today, but what actually happened on Easter Sunday, and that is the resurrection. You see, Good Friday would be an absolutely horrible day if Sunday didn't happen, if resurrection didn't happen, because an innocent man was condemned to death. He died a brutal death, crucifixion. That would be terrible, horrible, wretched. But thankfully, he didn't stay in the grave. Sunday came. As an old singer in the late 80s, early 90s put it, and when they got to the tomb, the stone rolled away and bounced a time or two. So, I hope you find Jesus through this reading, and you pick it up, read it for yourself. Don't take my word for it. May God richly bless you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you are able to pick up a copy for yourself and read it for yourself.